Hi guys, welcome back. We're just going to quickly add a little bit of text to the top of this can. Now once again, this is sort of optional. I just want to show you how you can do it. For those of you that aren't as experienced in Photoshop, it comes in handy for creating text and so on. It's a good way of kind of modifying your text. So obviously in the last video we went through this process of creating this sort of bump map section, and on the top of some cans basically you've got like embossed text. Quite often it's little messages like recycle or do not litter and things like that. So what we can do is actually add those into these gaps. So I'm going to start off, because the text is going to be raised out of the surface of the can. I'm just going to set my color to white, so I can just press this little reset button, which is D on the keyboard, default colors, and then I'll flip the foreground background colors around, so I've got white as the foreground color. And having a white text is going to make the background pop out. I'm just going to select the top layer in my bump group here just for a second, and that way the text will create a new layer right above this. So I'm going to grab the text tool just here, and what we want to do is create just like a standard font. So what I'll do is just select probably Arial. So if I just type A-R-I-A-L in here, just hit enter, that'll give me Arial, and I'm just going to click up here. Alright, the text is probably, that font's probably about the right size, but basically what I'll do is I'll just type in capitals, just recycle. Actually, I'll probably have room to put in please recycle, so I'll put that in. So please recycle, and I might make the font just a little bit bigger, that text a bit bigger, make it a little easier to read. And you know, like if you want, you know, you can set it to if you get the option, you know, you can set it to bold or whatever. You know, that's up to you. Okay, so what we want to do basically is get this font to wrap around the curve that we've got. So what I'm going to do is pop this sort of on this guide, and it will kind of center the text on this guide. And I want to position it at the distance from the center of the circle here that I want this text to be in. Okay, so if I want it to be pretty close to the middle of the circle, I'm going to place it here. Okay, if I want it sort of out near the rim, I'm going to place it up here. What I'm going to do is probably pop it sort of just on this edge, okay, around this edge. So I'm not going to place it here finally, okay, I'm just going to edit it here. So what you do is you highlight the text with the text tool, and then you press this little warp button up here, warp text, and you'll get this little pop-up. And what you do is go to style, and what we want is arc, just here. Okay, not arc upper or lower, we just want arc. So we click that, and you can see that it makes your text actually bend. Now I can't zoom in with this, I just want to make this a bit bigger, so I'll just cancel out of that for a second. That's a bit better. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Bear with me for a second. Okay, I think I just lost my entire layer there. So I'll just retype that in. Just make it a bit bigger. That there. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so we press the warp text button, and we go down to arc, and you can see there that it kind of bulges this out. So what I want to do is reduce the bend like this until the text is kind of evenly following one of these circular sections on the template. So I can see over here that the middle line in the E just here is sort of on the line, but the middle line in the E here is actually just above it. So what I want to do is just drop that arc down a little bit until that sort of middle E here and here is just sitting on that line the same way as this one is. So that's kind of give me approximately an even curve. Now also you'll notice that what it's done, it's actually pushed it up. All the text is pushed up. So that curve is no longer going to, that text is now not going to fit very well closer to the circle where I want it. You can see here that you get this move tool. The cursor automatically becomes a move tool. So I can actually just click and hold the left mouse button down, hold shift and drag the text down, and it will keep no matter how close I get to the middle, it will keep that sort of arc setting at about the same. Alright, so obviously the closer in towards the middle you get, the more of a bend you have to add. Alright, so I want it to be sort of on that line, on that edge there. So you can see it's kind of even. Okay, it's pretty good. So when you're happy with the amount of bend, just press OK. And then just hit this little tick box and that'll lock the text in, right? So then what we want to do is actually position this sort of over here. We don't want this cutting through the ring pull. So what I need to do is transform this. So what I do is I could probably grab the move tool, maybe. Nope, it's not going to. I've got to turn show transform controls on. Okay, now you can see in here, in the middle of the selection, so I've got move, transform controls switched on. In the middle there's an anchor point, and when you put your cursor on it, you get a little dot next to your cursor. That means you're clicking on the anchor point. What I want to do is place this. Oops, it's not going to. Probably won't let me do it now. Yep, there we go. So if you click right on that anchor, and it has to be, you've got to be dead on with the mouse. What you can do is place it right in the middle of the circle down here, like this. And then when you rotate this around, it actually swings from the middle of the circle. So I can now place this text around the outside of the can, like this, and have it really evenly spaced and properly positioned around the center of the can. So I just hit enter. And I can duplicate that layer, so I'll just drag it down onto the page, okay, and I can then do the same thing with this new layer. So I'll just grab the anchor point again, like this, drag it to the middle, like that. Oops. And then just rotate it around to this side. So I've just got a little recycle message on both sides of the can. Something like that. Once again, I'm sort of looking at the I'm looking at these divisions, these lines where the polygons are. So I can see here I've gone sort of from the middle, I've gone 1, 2, 3 lines and then like half a letter width. So over here I've gone 1, 2, 3 and then about half a letter width again. So I'm kind of keeping note of the spacing of these to keep them even on both sides, you know. It's always a good idea to look out for things like that. You know, because it looks a bit wonky if I've got that text there. It looks wonky because it's got a different spacing. So it's a good idea to try and develop your eye for detail on little things like that. Okay, I'll just turn off the show transform controls. So that's basically our bump map for the can, totally completed now. There's really no other bumps that we need to do. The only other modification I've made is I've taken this little black banana shape here and I've just moved it down inside the fringing on the shape below. Okay, this was kind of up here before, so I've just moved that down like that. But you know, you can choose to do that or not. It's not going to make a drastic difference. Okay, so that's the sort of the bump map finished. So really all we need to do is save this out. So I'm going to, once again, just fold that layer up, that group. And I'm just going to save the file. So I'll just go File, Save. And this is the master file. You remember we saved that last time. Then what I'll do is go to my layers and turn off the outline layer. And I'll go File, Save As, down here. And I'll change this to a Targa file, and this one I'm going to call Bump, B-U-M-P, and just save that, and keep it at 24 bits and save that. There we go. So that's basically it for the textures for the can. All we need to do really now is take those images and we can load them into Photoshop, into a material in Maya. So we'll start going through that process in the next couple of videos.